All right. So, guys, I appreciate you guys jumping on here. We have got Mr. William Hanna on with us this morning. Mr. Hanna is a representative from Americo. And of course, you guys know that Americo, we are starting a contest with Americo. And I may get this wrong, but it's Matt's money, so we'll just give it away anyway. We are doing $50 with every issued application. So it's got to be placed, issued, all that stuff. But with Americo, they're immediate issue anyway. So that shouldn't be a problem, but $50 with every application. Every application goes into a drawing that we are going to give away some prizes out of the drawing. But then also we're going to do a first, second, and third place prize. First place is going to be $500 and an iPad. Second place is $500. And then I believe third place is $250, but I may be wrong on that. And then fourth place is a set of steak knives, but I'm just kidding. There's no fourth place, but we are excited about this. Final expense. We are a heavy Medicare agency, and final expense is a side that we need to grow on. And so Americo, and we got together with them and they said, man, we've got a great product. We can help you guys grow and we'll help you with the contest. So they are going to track everything, which will be very nice. They'll know the winners, all that stuff. So that'll be really nice. But I'm going to let Mr. Hanna take it away. Mr. Hanna, you've got control. You can share your screen, whatever you need to do. Appreciate you being on and telling us about Americo.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Yeah, like you said, my name is William Hanna. I'm an assistant account executive here at Americo. I'm filling in for Andrew Costas, who's your account executive. He regrets that his travel plans precluded him from being able to come in today in order to be with you guys, but I'm happy to fill in. I've been with Americo a little over 10 years. My main background is in agent services. So I was one of the people that are on the phone answering questions and helping you out. You guys will talk to agent services from time to time, anytime you need anything. So that's kind of my background. Before that, I was an agent in the field for a little over a year. Unfortunately, it was during 2008 when no one had any money. And it was a hard time to get started out in life insurance. So I was fortunate to kind of fall into a position here at Americo based on that limited experience I had in the field. So my heart is still kind of with agent services and with agents. And I do a lot of training for the company internally and with agents on products and processes and stuff. So agent Andrew tapped me as someone that'd be good to help you guys out. So very cool to hear about your guys' contest, $50 per app. That you can definitely rack that up really quick with our process. Americo, we're primarily a life company, and then we segued into med sup. So we've come into this from the opposite way of you guys. One really great advantage you guys are going to have is with your book of business Medicare supplement. If somebody can qualify medically for Medicare supplement, they're a slam dunk for qualifying for final expense. So that's going to be a great group for you guys to go back to and talk about adding life insurance to. We've got a lot of agents that do both. So let's talk a little bit about our final expense life insurance and how we sell it. I'm not going to go through every single screen in this presentation. Here, what it's talking about is our e-application. The URL for it is tools.americoagent.com, or you can do a demo by going to tools-demo.americoagent.com. The sign-on that you use for this is the same as the sign-on that you use for our main agent portal, so you don't need to set up another account. It's just a single sign-on in order to use Agent Tools. And that's the e-application that you'll be using to enter all the information and get that instant decision. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. In addition to that, we have a really nice text signature option that we have available. So if you guys do your sales remotely, we have a lot of agents that don't meet face-to-face with clients because it's hard to get over to their place and see them face-to-face. So if you are remote, you'll be using a remote signature option with Agent Tools. And what this does is sends them a text message with a link that they can use to go and view all their documents and see all their documents right there on their screen. And then it gives them a 6-digit verification code that they just provide to you verbally. and you enter that in and you move right on with the application. So they don't need to do any kind of finger signing on their screen where it looks all sloppy. They don't need to go to DocuSign or some kind of third party to review stuff. It's just one link to open the documents, review it, they like it, they give you the verification code, and away you go. So it's very fast and easy to get that process of it done. Are you guys interested in seeing more about the text signature process, or would you prefer me to get right into product and talk about how the product works? What do you guys want?
Let's see a little bit of the text signature, because I think that
Yeah.
is something that really sets America apart.
Absolutely. It really does. So with this system, when you come to the signature, it's going to give you the option to either sign right there on your device, on the tablet or laptop. So if you're in person, you would hit that and it would let you review and sign with a stylus or a mouse or whatever you had right there in the home. So this does also work really well for in-person sales if that's what you prefer. But then, of course, you can just hit the remote signing text delivery and to get started with the text signing process. So all you'll need to do is enter in their phone number where it has the mobile number field, and then you hit the button that says send text, and it's just going to go right out to them. While they're reviewing their documents and looking at that verification code, your screen is going to look like this. It's going to verify the mobile number that it was sent to. It's going to give you the date and time stamp that it was sent. Most of the time, like 99% of the time, you're still going to be on the phone with your client during this process. But if it does need to be disjointed for some reason, you can see when the last time you sent it was, and you can also resend the text right away if they need a fresh text sent to them for any reason. And then there is a agreement that you read to the client while you're on the phone with them, stating that they intend to be a party to an insurance application, that they're okay with receiving electronic documents, that they verify that they were able to review those documents that you sent them, and that they're also okay with them with the documents saying signed by electronic signature on the actual documents in lieu of an actual signature. So you'll state those four things to them, and if they're cool with that, they'll give you that authorization code, which is just 6 digits that you plug in. On the client side, this is what they're going to see. So it's got a link that comes up, says View America Form. So they just tap that link. It's messy, but it's also nice and big. So it makes it really easy to tap on. So they can pull up their documents right there. There's actually 2 different signing sessions that you'll have with clients when you're selling this. The initial signing session is only for the HIPAA authorization. So nice and early in the application process, we send them the HIPAA authorization that allows us to do the Medical Information Bureau as well as the prescription history check. And what that allows us to do is it allows us early in the process to start running the underwriting checks in the background. And that's what allows us to give you that instant decision. So once they get the sign and they proceed on, it usually only takes like a minute or less, and you'll get a notification that says, hey, everything looks great, keep going. Or it'll say, uh-oh, we already found an issue and we need to put this person on guaranteed issue or do something else with them. So it's very, very quick with that decision. So we do it as close to the front of the application. And then at the end, you will have another signing process that's identical to this, where they'll actually review the entire filled in application. They'll review the payment information, all of that stuff. And then they'll provide just one verification code again. So unlike other insurance where someone has to go in and they have to sign 5, 6, 7 places as they could scroll through the document, this is just one verification code each time that takes care of all the signatures with just one code. So the client reviews and they provide that authorization code. Now, obviously, we are sending some sensitive documents out via text message here, and we don't want there to be a digit misplaced and this go to the wrong person. So when they click on those forms, it will ask them for the last 4 of their social security number to validate who they are before they can see that. That way, some random person doesn't end up seeing, their name, their date of birth, their social, their private medical information. Like these applications are a smorgasbord of things that nobody wants public. So it does have a last 4 of social verification in order to view that. So once they have viewed the documents and found them satisfactory, they provide you with that 6-digit authorization code, and then you are able to continue on. So you just plug that in, you hit verify code. In just a few seconds after you click verify code, it updates and it says that it's verified. And then it's your turn to sign as the agent. So then you as the agent are going to be agreeing to those same things that the client did about using electronic signature and so forth. So you would click agree to terms if you're okay with doing that as an agent, and then you're able to move on with the rest of the application. At the very end. And then with this first one with the HIPAA authorization, as soon as they sign this, we assign the policy number. The policy number is up in the top right. I don't know if you can see it up under where it says test agent. It's got a policy number up there now. So at this point, this is considered to be a real in-flight application. It's been submitted to us to start consideration on the underwriting. So you've got your policy number right now. At this point, if for any reason your client got cold feet and say, hey, I want to come back to this in a couple of days, you can do that. But your application must be completed within 7 days of getting that first signature, because we got to keep it nice and fresh with that medical authorization. So make sure that if you do end up having to come back to them for a second appointment, you do that within 7 days. If it's after 7 days, it'll withdraw and you'll just need to start over from the first screen instead of just picking up where you left off. So it's not like you have to like put a waiting period on the client to reapply. You'll just have to redo the first part of the application again. But at that point, you're able to continue on. At the very end where you sign as the agent, there's also just a button that you click to sign it. It doesn't have you draw your name as the agent either. It does the agreement where you are willing to go in and put signed electronically as well. So you don't need to worry about having a stylus or things like that on your end. It's just one button click and you're done with your signatures as well. That also avoids you having to go and sign multiple places as well when you're using this virtual signing. I see that someone asked about if we do a motor vehicle report when we're doing underwriting. We don't with Eagle Premier. MVR doesn't enter into it with our final expense. We have a very short list of health questions. We ask things like, have you had cancer treatment like within the last, I think it's like 2 years? Or have you had, I mean, I don't want to say off the top of my head, but like, do you have Alzheimer's? It's big stuff and it's very forgiving. There's a lot of things like cancers and things like that if enough time has gone by after last treatment, we can still take them. Like I said, if you got somebody that qualifies for Medicare supplement, they're going to qualify for this. This is a lot easier than your typical Medicare supplement to get someone into. Any questions about that signing process? Keeping an eye on the chat here. I don't see anything else coming in. I'll keep an eye and see if any other questions come in. So in talking about the Eagle Premier itself, there's 2 different levels, if you will, of Eagle Premier. We have our main Eagle Premier, which is a level full coverage day 1 coverage. And then we also have the Eagle Premier Guaranteed. Eagle Premier Guaranteed, we would only offer if they failed any of the health questions, or if the MIB check or the prescription check came back and said, hey, we have stuff on these checks that contradict those health questions. So we need to offer them guaranteed issue. Guaranteed issue means that their health does not matter. As long as they're between the ages of 50 and 80, we're going to offer them. They can get up to $10,000 in coverage on a guaranteed issue, and it's graded in over 3 years. So it's not a coverage that someone would want if they had any choice, but it's something that we can offer if they're otherwise uninsurable. So the vast majority of what you're going to see are going to be getting offers on that full coverage day 1. That coverage, the Eagle Premier, we can do face amounts anywhere from $5,000 on the low end up to $30,000 as a maximum. This is designed to be a final expense style coverage. So the kinds of needs that we're looking at, a lot of times people are looking at funeral expenses, which can vary a lot depending on what part of the country you're in. Like a funeral in LA is not going to be the same as a funeral in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's going to vary, but in general, between $7,000 and $10,000 is usually sufficient. More is, of course, usually helpful for families because they don't always consider all of the costs that are involved with final expense. You've got transportation of the body, you've got preparation of the body, you have final medical expenses. Sometimes people don't consider that the last few months of their life are probably going to be among the most expensive months of their life when it comes up to passing away because they may be in hospice. And so some people feel like they have enough money just sitting in a bank account in order to be able to cover those. But what they don't always account for is that those final months leading up to their passing, that can deplete those funds very, very quickly. So having a life insurance policy in the background, they're just having to pay in a small amount monthly, and then the family getting that tax-free at the point of their death can be a huge help to the families. Unfortunately, the Veterans Administration only gives a pittance for funeral expenses. So some people, feel like they can rely on Social Security or Veterans Administration or other services, but unfortunately, those do not give anywhere near enough to make a real difference. So having a policy like this is absolutely a huge help for our families. I wanted to go back to the screen real quick because this just shows kind of the cycle of using the e-app with us. So when you go into our e-application, you get that instant decision with just a few minutes. And then typically you get that instant decision back where it alerts you and says, hey, everything is great, or we found an issue. You typically get that alert while you're working on the health questions with your client. So you get the MIB and HIPAA authorization signed, and then you move on to the health questions. All those health questions are knockout questions. So if they answer yes to anything, you'll immediately know to move them to guaranteed issue. There's no guesswork here. It's just all black and white. It's either pass or fail. There's no in between with it. So it draws very clear lines with those health questions for you. We are able to deliver their policies to them very quickly via email. By very quickly, I mean within a couple of hours of finishing the application. We will have that policy emailed to them. When you're going through the app, it asks for their email address. And there's a little checkbox there that says electronic delivery of policy. I recommend using that as much as possible. It's just the fastest, easiest, quickest way to get them their policy in their hands. It's their official copy of the policy. They can save that to a secure location. They can print it out, whatever they like. If you do have a client, for whatever reason, does not want electronic delivery, and instead they want us to print off a hard copy and mail that to them, we will do that. You would just not select that box or deselect that box, and then we would print it. It takes like 1 or 2 business days to print it, and then we put it in the mail. So they'd be looking at getting their policy usually within a week. As far as getting that physical copy in their hands. We don't do both, though. It is a one or the other. So just talk to your client about that. Try to offer the electronic delivery as much as possible. It just really helps with clients getting that, the physicality of having something there where they've got their policy immediately and they feel like they've made a good decision with purchasing it, and they know that their coverage is in place. Let's see. Saw a question. If the e-app directs them automatically for guaranteed issue, it does. So it's really seamless when you're going in through the e-app. If we get a decision back from any of our underwriting checks, or if you answer yes to a health question, it will immediately direct you to go back to the screen where you set up the product information, and you'll just switch it from level to guaranteed. You'll redo the face amount to whatever face amount they want. You'll rerun the premium, and if they like it, you'll just keep going in the same app. So like you don't need to start over from the beginning if you get an adverse decision. It is set up to be seamless. Just move over and just continue on. Thanks for the question. And then once everything has been issued and you're to the end of it, we're able to pay out those commissions daily. So we're able to report those. We've got agents that'll write business in the morning, and we release the commissions on that same day. Banks usually take 1 or 2 business days to process a commission. So we have a lot of agents seeing, the fruits of that, the very next day. Very common, because we're able to pay out those commissions on a very regular basis every day. We can report those out, and it all happens really fast. One of the other nice things with using an e-app like this, we're able to avoid a lot of problems with applications. Of course, we avoid any problems with being able to read handwriting. I'm sure everyone here has the most beautiful handwriting in the world, but some agent handwriting looks more like doctor handwriting, and it can be difficult sometimes. So this is, takes care of all of that. It also makes sure that you don't miss any fields that are required. To an extent, it makes sure that the information you entered makes sense. Like if it's a zip code field, it won't let you put in a phone number. Like it makes sure that to a certain extent, it makes sure that the information makes sense. One nice thing that we're able to add to this is that when you're putting in the client's address, it actually links to Google Maps. Because you know how when you're searching in Google Maps, you start typing an address and it says, oh, it looks like you're typing one of these addresses, and it suggests it for you. It does the same thing in our app, so that you can, it makes it really easy to confirm their address and make sure that it's a good address. The street name isn't misspelled, and that it makes sense for where they're at. So that's a really nice enhancement that we were able to add to Agent Tools, just to make it a little bit easier to add the information and make sure we have good information that's being put into the application. When it comes to underwriting, the main thing we look at, aside from those health questions and those reports, is height and weight. We have a height and weight chart that is published. It is in our agent guide. It's also on our worksheet that we have. It's just a one-pager. The height and weight is very liberal, I would say. People can be pretty large and still be able to qualify at the best rate for this product. But if you have any concerns about their height and weight, you can certainly have that worksheet or that agent guide handy, and you can check it against that. And again, it's just pass or fail. If it's close, we're good. If it's over even by a pound, then we're bad. It's a very hard line, as with everything else on this application. One other really nice feature that we have is our quit smoking advantage. We define smoking as any nicotine use whatsoever. So it doesn't matter how they're getting that nicotine, if that's a cigar, a cigarette, a patch, a gum. If nicotine is entering their system in any way, shape, or form in the last 12 months, that does meet our definition of smoking. But with that, we have what we call our quit smoking advantage. What we do with this is we put everybody, including our smokers, on the same low rates as our non-smokers for the first 3 years, just regardless. And so they're basically given a 3-year holiday where they're going to get that lower rate. The intent there is to encourage them to quit smoking over the course of those 3 years. Whether they do or not is totally up to them. If they do quit smoking, they can contact us and let us know. Our policy owner service team will send them some documents to sign. We'll also set up like a quick saliva test for them at our expense. And then once they send that back into us, we can move them to a permanent non-smoking rate from then on. So there won't be any change to their face amount or their premium if they've quit smoking and they let us know. If they don't quit smoking, then at the end of 3 years, it does move to a more traditional smoking rate. So at that point, either the face amount would decrease or their premium would increase, depending on what they want to do. So this is kind of a look of how, this is kind of an example of how that would look. Here we've got a male who is a smoker. They're getting a $10,000 death benefit. So for the first 3 years, the rate is $62.92. It's the same rate as our non-smokers. And then starting in year 4, we have 3 possibilities. Possibility number 1, he quit smoking and he let us know. So we keep him on that rate, $62.92 permanently, and he's got his full death benefit. Option number 2 is if they did not quit smoking or they didn't contact us. So option number 2 in the middle there is the default option. If they don't say anything to us or they don't quit smoking and they don't contact us, then what's going to happen is we're going to leave their premium alone. They're still going to pay $62.92, but their face amount is going to decrease to $5,420, which matches a more traditional smoking rate. If they don't quit and they still want their full $10,000 death benefit, they can do that as well, but they would need to contact us, and we would then increase their premium starting in year 4 to $112.87, which again is that proper smoking rate for someone at their age at the time of application. So like this isn't recalculated based on attained age or any of that. This is all, and all of these 3 options, these are all quoted in our software. So when you go to Agent Tools, or if you go to our quoting software and you run this and you indicate they're a smoker, all 3 of these options will be shown right there on that illustration. These are all also included in their policies. So this is all given to the client up front to let them know how it's going to work and what their options are. We also will try to reach out to the client as it comes to the end of year 3 to say, hey, you're coming up on the end of your quit smoking advantage period. Have you quit smoking? If you haven't, then how would you like to exercise your option? We'll reach out to them for that. So it's important that they keep their contact information with us updated so that we can do that. But we'll do what we can to reach out to them and make sure to remind them. Ultimately, it is their responsibility to let us know what's going on so we can do the right thing for them, but we'll do what we can to reach out to them. Just in this last year, we've had the first batch of policies coming up on the quit smoking advantage and sending out those letters and stuff. And we've been very successful so far with reaching a lot of clients and getting their feedback as far as what they prefer. So it's working very well. And it's a really nice program that gives smokers that 3-year holiday at least in order to get them some good coverage in place. Any questions about quit smoking advantage and how that works? It's a little unique. There aren't a lot of, I don't know. I can't say there are no other companies that do it because I don't know that for a fact, but it is very, it is very unique in the industry to have that kind of benefit going on. All right, looks like not right now, but I'll keep an eye on the chat. There are some additional benefits that are automatically included. Oh, gotcha. A question about percentage of people who quit. No, like they don't let us know like what the outcome is a lot of times on those. Like they don't give stats on that to us here in marketing. Like we just consider it successful if we were able to communicate with them and they either quit or not. I mean, even because I've had agents that I've told this to, and they're like, oh, but I have this client who has no intention of quitting. They love their smoking. They're offended by the idea of quitting smoking. Can we just put them on the smoking rate? And we're like, no, we're not going to charge them extra for 3 years. We're gonna give them the best rate we can.
I will say I had this one time. I sat in front of a couple and I told them about the quit smoking advantage and all that. And the wife said, well, here's what's going to happen. I've been telling him to quit smoking for years. He is either going, in those 3 years, he's going to quit smoking or we're going to use the life insurance. One of the two is going to happen. And I think he quit smoking. So I feel like I helped him out there. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, like as with anything, because I was at agents like, well, what if they quit smoking for a year and then they start again? Like, well, we can't stop that. Like, with anything with life insurance, with underwriting and stuff, you get the information you have at the time of sale and you believe what people tell you for the most part. You guys run into that Medicare supplement as well, where they may say they drink a certain amount of alcohol. Well, once they get their med sup policy in place and it's put in place, they could start drinking 3 times that amount of alcohol. But the insurance company can't come back and penalize them for that because as long as they were honest at the point of sale and did it in good faith, that's all you can do. So we have the same view of smoking, where We expect them to be honest with us and to work with us in good faith. And if they, quit smoking for a year and then 2 years later they pick it up again, well, I mean, there they go. But we're not going to revisit the policy with them. That's just part of the risk of doing life insurance. So let's talk a little bit about the additional benefits that are available. So automatically included on every Eagle Premier policy, that's the level benefit. That's the one that has, day one coverage. There's two riders that are automatically included every time. The first is an accelerated benefit for terminal illness. That says if they're diagnosed terminally ill, they can get up to 50% of their death benefit early. The idea there is it's going to help them out with medical costs. It's going to help them out with, maybe getting into a hospice care or other care that they might need. But it's just money. They could also, buy the red hot car they always wanted or go on a final vacation. They can do it. It's just money. They can do whatever they want with it. And then when they did pass away, the remainder of that death benefit would pay out to the beneficiary. So it's just an option that's available for them to exercise if the family is going to benefit from having that money early. The second thing that's automatically included is an accidental death rider. So if the client dies of an accident at any point while they're owning this policy, the face amount is doubled. So if they got a $30,000 death benefit and they fall off a ladder and die, we're going to pay $60,000 to the family as just a kicker for accidental death. So whatever face amount they have, that's the amount of accidental death they have. So if the base amount is 10,000, we're going to pay 20 on an accident. In addition to that, it will pay out that same amount again if they die as an accident on a common carrier. Common carrier means that it's some kind of transportation where they buy a ticket to ride and it has a published schedule. So this would be things like a city bus, like a commercial jet, like a cruise ship, would all be things where you buy a ticket to ride and there's a schedule. It would not be things like a taxi or an Uber or some kind of chartered thing that's like a private or a private plane that doesn't have a published schedule. But in that case, it would pull out the same amount again. So if they have a $30,000 death benefit and they died in an airplane crash while they're a passenger, then it would pay $30,000 on the base policy, $30,000 on accidental, and $30,000 on common carrier. Total of $90,000 would be going to the family at that point. And those are just automatically included, no additional cost. You don't need to do anything special to elect it. It's just there. The third one that you see there is an accidental death provision. This one is only on the Eagle Premier Guaranteed. The Eagle Premier Guaranteed is the one where the death benefit is graded in over 3 years. So the death benefit starts low and it builds up. So the accidental death provision states that if they die of an accident during that grading period, we're going to go ahead and pay out the full face amount. So there's never anything additional when it comes to Eagle Premier Guaranteed for accidental, but it will pay the full death benefit. So I like to say, if you're visiting grandma and she starts to have a heart attack, just shove her down the stairs, and then you'll be good. Or better yet, off the side of the cruise ship. All right. Any questions about those additional riders? These are all free, no cost at all, automatically included. The first two are on the level benefit. The third one, the provision, is on guaranteed issue. Keep an eye out for questions on those. We have one rider that can be added for additional cost. This is a child or grandchild rider. Our families love this. It's a really good feeling to provide coverage for grandkids, and this is the easiest rider out there in order to add. We can add any grandkids that exist. They don't have to prove these grandkids exist to you other than telling you their names and their date of birth. They got to be 16 or younger to be added to the policy. And we don't need their social, we don't need their address, we don't need their parents' information, none of that. If these kids exist somewhere and they want to add them, it can be a child or grandchild, stepchild, adopted child, any of that. There just needs to be some kind of blood or legal relationship there where they're actually adopted. So like you can't do this for foster kids, for example, but you can do this for any actually adopted child or blood relative that's a child or grandchild of that insured. and they don't have to be dependent. So they don't have to be living with the grandparents for any period of time. This could be a grandchild that they know exists somewhere, but they haven't seen him for years. That's fine. They just need to tell us about them. The cost is $1 per child per month, and that gives them $5,000 in coverage. So it's really simple to calculate and to add in. So if they got 5 grandkids, that's $5, and all 5 of them are covered for $5,000 a piece. And so just a very quick, simple, low-cost way to add them in. And that is available on the level policy. We're not able to do the child-grandchild rider on Eagle Premier Guaranteed, but anytime they get through the underwriting, you can add this to it, just $1 per month per kid. Any questions about child-grandchild rider? Keep an eye out for that. All right, let me show you guys how to access all the stuff online that you'll need for this. We talked a little bit about the e-application before, but if you haven't written it down yet, the URL is tools.americoagent.com. And if you haven't yet, you'll also want to get set up on our agent portal. I put that in the chat, portal.americoagent.com. That's the main agent portal. So if you go there to register, once that's set up, then you're set up for the agent tools as well, because it's the exact same sign-in that you'll use for agent tools. And this is totally autonomous. It doesn't need any input from anyone at Americo. Like, you never need to call us to keep things moving or anything with it. So you can use it nights, weekends, holidays, whenever you want to use it. It's available for you, and you can just breeze through it and get that placed with the instant decision. If you want to give it a test drive, which I highly recommend, you can go to tools-demo.americoagent.com. It's the same login as the agent portal and the live one. The demo site allows you to go through with fake information, so fake names, fake social security numbers. It doesn't actually post business, so feel free to use that. And you can do the whole process from start to finish, including the signatures and all, and clicking the submit button, all of that. It's just a complete start to finish way of getting to know the application. To run quotes, the fastest way is to go to quote.americo.com. That agent tools app that we talked about, there is a quote area. So like, there's a button you can click that says, I just want to run a quote. And there's a second button that says, let's start the e-app. So you can run quotes there. But for even quicker quotes, if you just go on a cell phone to quote.americo.com, there's no login here at all. It's just, what state are you in and what do you want to quote? And it will just give you a quick face amount and premium for all the life insurance that we sell. So you can go in there and get a quick quote. And it's really easy. Once you're on quote.americo.com, you can add a bookmark to your home screen, so it will look and act just like an app. But there's nothing that you need to download here. There's nothing you need to worry about keeping updated, because we keep all that going on our end. So you can always be confident when you're going to the quote.americo.com that it's the most recent one. Question, how soon does the policy pay out after death? It's a great question. The answer, like most, is it depends. If we're talking about someone that passes away several years after buying the policy, it's usually a very quick, easy process. All we need to do is, verify the documents that they send in to us, which is like the death certificate and the claims form that they send in. And then we pay it out. Usually very, very quick process doing it that way. If they die sooner, if they die within the first 3 years during the contestability period, that can take a little bit longer. During the contestability period, we're able to recheck the medical information. Somebody buys coverage from us today, and 1 year from now, they die from cancer. We need to make sure that there wasn't any inkling of cancer prior to the application that they just neglected to mention. So there is some research that we need to do on that in order to make sure we pay out that claim. Contestable claims, it's harder to say how long that's going to take, because some of it is dependent on how quick are we getting the records that we need from the doctor, how responsive are the family members being getting that to us. So it's harder to nail down a time frame. It could be weeks in that case, depending on how long it's taking to get what we need to do that research. So contestable claims, it's kind of up in the air. Regular claims, we are able to pay those out very quickly. Let's see. That's the end of this. I want you guys to make sure you have the phone number to contact us for agent services. It's the 800-231-0801. That's the only phone number you need for Americo. Any questions about anything to do with Americo, including issues with using the e-app, or you feel stuck on a spot, you're not sure what something is saying, using any of our systems, questions about enforced policy, pending business, commissions, all of that. It's just that one phone number. And our agent services team can help you out. I also recommend, as much as possible, send your questions via email to agent.services@americo.com. We have a very good sized team of agents that are ready to answer questions, but we're vastly outnumbered. We have thousands of agents throughout the country, and there can be sometimes a wait 10, 15 minutes in like the middle of the day, where we've got maybe people cycling through lunches, and then we've also got everybody on their lunch break as agents calling us at the same time as well. So if you don't need an immediate that second answer, I recommend using the email address. Our agent services team answers all emails on the same day they're received, as long as we get those before 3:30 Central Time. So I recommend email as the best way of getting answers back if you're not in a situation where you need an immediate answer. If you're sitting with a client and you're stuck on e-app, then absolutely call us. We'll get a live person on the phone. They'll be able to help you out. We help out agents in the home with clients all the time. So feel free to reach out to us and call whenever you need us for something like that. All right. Well, I want to just remind myself if there's anything that I skipped over here. I think that's all the important stuff. So any questions or anything else about this that I can show you guys?
I think you covered it pretty well. We're going to be upset if we have to, deal with Andrew from here on out. We're William Hanna people now. So
that's kind of you to say.
I'm just kidding.
Appreciate
Andrew
that.
does a great job as well.
He
So,
does. I love him. I
yeah.
actually knew him previous to working at Americo, because he and I went to the same church, and then I
Okay.
saw him in the hallways of Americo, and I was like, "What, Andrew? What?" So,
That's funny. Yeah. That's how I got into insurance. I met Brian at church and got tired of doing what I was doing and said, look, what do you do? I'm in. So, but yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you very much coming on and visiting with us and showing us everything about Americo, guys. Only thing from my end, if you are not appointed with Americo, you need to do that because it's going to take a minute to get done. Send an email to contracts with an S, contracts@secureig.com, and we will get your Americo appointment. That contest is going to start on April the 1st and run through June. And I've already heard it from a couple people. It's going to take a few policies to win this. So I love the competitive side of it. And I mean, think about this. What if you get fourth place, right? You get fourth place. Well, that means that you probably wrote about $10,000 worth of Americo production and you've got $10,000 in your bank account. So it'll be the best fourth place you've ever got in your life. So we just want to show you guys how amazing Americo can be. What I would be doing, like I said the other day, right now is number one, I would be making sure I knew that Americo portal frontwards, backwards, know how to work that sucker. Second thing I would be doing, I would be putting down, I would take a yellow pad and I'd write 100 people that I know and love that I'm going to contact and set up appointments for on April 1st. And just really, really, really work it hard and get this going. If there's anything I can do from you guys in the meantime, please, please, please let me know. William, again, thank you very much. I appreciate you coming on, and we are looking forward to this. So,
yeah, if
all
I
right,
can
guys.
give you one last thing in the chat,
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a URL. There's no login needed to that. That's going to take you straight to our training channel. So if you want to see a quick video that shows you step by step how to register, how to use anything on the portal, also a complete step-by-step walkthrough of using that e-application on Agent Tools is available there as well. So it's just a training channel. There's a ton of videos on there. If you want to learn about any of the products we have, that's fine. But we've got great videos on there all about Eagle Premier and the Agent Tools e-app.
Perfect. I'll copy that, put that in the Facebook page as well. So, all right, guys, have a great day. If we can do anything for you, please let us know. William, thank you again. And let's finish the week strong.
My pleasure. Take care.